Oh my gosh. All right. So we are live. Hello and welcome to the very first live show of the Basement Ladies, also known as the female version of the Basement Surge. But don't let that name fool you, because we're still going to be talking about the same kind of topics. The only difference is that when I want to talk about Mamma Mia or My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, the entire audience doesn't groan. You know who you are. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. I am so excited to be doing this, to have my own show. If you have followed the Basement Surge for any length of time, you know I love podcasting. I love live shows. I even at one point had my own podcast, but life kind of took over and it just didn't happen. But this time, I'm doing it a little differently. So we will be doing live shows instead of episodes. Less editing, less fussing, less real thinking of things. And I love the interaction. I love talking to you guys. I love being on 900 different platforms and being able to talk to each one of you. So again, thank you very much for watching. And I hope that you continue to watch every Tuesday between 9 and 10 o'clock. So, you will notice I have my awesome Jimmy Kimmel cue cards here. Only sadly, I will not be having Tom Cruise lip syncing in my basement as of now. We'll see how things go. I mean, hey, if the Basement Search can get Cubby, I can totally get Tom Cruise. We have to one-up him. All right, so if who's watching? I got my mom watching. We have, of course, the Basement Surge watching. Who else is on? If you're on, leave your name, say hi, all of that. It is really hot in here. We'll see how long this sweater works. I had to wear the sweater. I had to because it is the Barbie sweater. Barbie. I cannot wait to see the movie. Oh my gosh, I am waiting. I get paid Friday. I think we're going to have to go like Saturday or Sunday. I didn't want to go the first week because I knew it was going to be completely crazy. So I figured a week later we'd do it, but I'm definitely going to do it. And I will make John sit and watch the entire thing. He doesn't like musicals either, so this should be very interesting. All right, so let's see. We have 3 people watching on YouTube. That's exciting. Let's see on Instagram. Oh, Selena's here. Hi, Selena. All right, so this week I kind of named this episode High-End Marshalls and $100,000 Brooches. And I'm sure you're all wondering what is that about? So, I took a couple days off of work and John and I spent the day in the city. Now, we live in Brooklyn. And Brooklyn and Manhattan might as well be 2 different planets. Okay, it's not the same. Hey, Rip Dog, the dog. Thank you. I am trying. So anyway, so when I first came to New York, when he convinced me to move here, I was like, New York? Absolutely. I mean, I've watched Sex and the City. I've watched every New York movie. I'm thinking taxis, luxury, shopping, beautiful buildings, beautiful things. And he brings me to Brooklyn. And there's none of that. None of that. I'm like, there's no luxury. There is 99-cent stores on every corner. There's no taxis. The luxury store is like a telco. And if you've ever like ordered from Shein, I'm pretty sure telco is like where they buy their stuff from or who they sell. It's awful. So yeah. Who else is here? Sorry, everyone's joining. I'm so happy everybody is joining. Thank you so much. It really does mean the world to me. We got Mark from Talking Shit. We have Tony. Oh my gosh. Yay, thank you guys so much. So I love to go to the city because I need that little bit. And you would think living in Brooklyn that we'd go there a lot, but we really haven't. I think in the 6 years I've been here, we were there like 4 times. So we don't go there very often. This was a big deal. We went there. We decided that we were going to kind of take turns seeing different things. So of course, John had to see all of the radio stations, and that was actually kind of really fun, I have to admit. We saw where they shoot the Jimmy Kimmel show. We saw iHeartRadio, of course. We saw the NBC where they did the Today Show, and that was really cool. Like, I kind of wish they were like on at that time because I got to see. You couldn't see in the window too much. I was kind of hoping for like a sneak peek in there, but holy, their cameras are way bigger than ours. Yeah, we need to get those cameras. Like, yeah. But so that was really, really cool to kind of be in that same, like, oh my gosh, that's where they are. Like, they are in there. And then it was my turn. And of course, I had to go to Tiffany's to see the new renovation. And so Tiffany's, I think, was the funnest experience that we had the entire time. And I'm pretty sure that John will never, ever let me back in Tiffany's for the complete humiliation that this poor man had to endure, thanks to his loving wife. So we go to Tiffany's, and I follow them on Instagram. And I had seen this one brooch that they had. It's like bird on a rock. Hey, Brendan. And I wanted to see it. So I go to see it, and it's there in the glass. So they see me looking at it, and they bring it over. And I'm like, just curious, like, how much is this? I did not get John an address. I am very sorry. Humiliate. Okay, he did not let me humiliate him that much. Not that much. Tiffany is big money. And like, oh my gosh, like I will never be able to afford anything in Tiffany's. But that was half the problem. So I asked this woman, I said, well, how much is this brooch? I'm just curious. And that brooch, well, see, a necklace they had. And the necklace was $115,000 for a necklace. And so, of course, I couldn't be like, oh, that's too much. Never mind. That's not me. I have to be, oh, okay, do you have it in a baby blue? Because that's what I do. Oh my gosh, guys, I had these employees looking in the back room. They were making phone calls. They were really searching for this baby blue brooch. And I felt so bad because, like, they thought I was going to buy this thing. I'm not going to buy this thing. No, he cannot afford it. Oh my God. Like, the basement surge is doing good and all, but it ain't doing that good. Okay. And he sure and heck is not going to spend all of his money on a brooch. Okay. Not happening. But so I have all of these people searching for this one thing, and they finally found it. I'm sitting here, I'm like, how am I going to get out of this? Like, I don't know how to back out of telling them, like, I'm not buying this. And they find it in the back. Apparently, somebody has stopped making payments on it, and they had one in the building, and it was only one specially made. And I'm not going to lie, this was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Most beautiful thing. Like, looking at this thing was like looking at your baby after it's just been born and you have that instant connection and that instant love. That was me in this brooch. So, because I can't stop myself, how much is this? And this was cheaper than the necklace. It was only $105,000. Only. I mean, that's totally, if I just make payments the rest of my life, I can totally make that work. Kind of, sort of. So now I'm also stuck. Like, what do I do? They did have a layaway. They didn't call it layaway, of course. But yes, I could have. They could have kept it for me, and I could have made payments and payments, but I wouldn't have been able to get it until I made half the payments or something like that. And they start jotting down my number. They have my email address. They want me to sit down and talk finances. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh, we got to go. I'm like, this wasn't planned. He is pacing. Okay. He's like, what are you doing? Shut the fuck up. Like, why do you keep instigating this? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. If he has that on the side of his bed, no. No. Like, not good. Yeah, so luckily I went out and this guy's running down. He's running after me. And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. They know I'm full of crap. And he's like, I just texted you all the information. Could you make sure it's the right number? And I'm like, oh crap. Like, hit my phone and I'm like, oh, nope, it's the right one. Here you are. It was awful. But it was so much fun. I mean, come on. How fun is it to pretend you're going to buy $105,000 brooch? Then my question is, now I know that I looked okay that day. It wasn't bad. If you saw me on socials, I was wearing, the black skirt and the pink top. Wasn't awful. But nothing about my appearance said I could afford $105,000 brooch. I mean, I wasn't looking classy enough. I wasn't like, my whole outfit cost less than $100. So they're like a bad judge of character. I mean, it's like at my job, if someone wants to buy a $40 gift, I'm questioning, like, do you have it? Is this too much for you? You know? Hey, Brian. But yeah, so she just thought, which is kind of like a compliment because I'm like, I must have looked really good because she thought I could afford it. So that's not bad. But yeah, so that needless to say, John will not be letting me back in there, or he just won't be coming in with me anymore. Oh, that must be it. They recognized John as the guy who interviewed Cubby and was like, that's what it was. I was with the right guy. And they were like, oh, he must have money. But they also must not watch the show to know that we got nothing. All of our money went to podcasting equipment and room decor. But yeah, so that was our interesting. Oh, show him the brooch. Did you bring it up? Did you not do the one thing I asked? Oh my gosh. First day as a producer, I'm about to fire him.
It's my bad, all right? My bad.
Listen.
Hang on. Let's see.
I'm gonna go hire producer Jamie to get this stuff going here.
It's in your Gmail account, right?
I don't know where it is. I know it's in my drive.
Yeah, Gmail. Okay, so
I'm not tech savvy. That's why I married a tech savvy. I'm the idea person, not the tech person.
type in your Gmail account. The keyboard?
I know where. I'm just trying to think of what it is. Wait. Gmail. Like the mom's always right? Or
yeah. All right. I got it.
Anyway, while we wait for this picture, because you guys got to see the picture, how is everybody doing tonight? Anything interesting? I love my cue cards. They feel so professional. They have like nothing on them.
Hang on 1 second.
Sore? Why are you sore, Brian? Just mowed the lawn. I hope it cooled down where you were because it was muggy and hot. And Selena is playing video games and listening to me.
So it's not working. Your password is not working.
You know, I don't even know. It's on the computer down there. That's so rude. That is so. Well, I have so many pictures that go with what I'm talking about that I painstakingly worked. My mic's muted still.
No, it's not.
Your mic's not muted in your password. You know the whole password. Nice try, Mark. But you're probably just letting me know, so thank you, by the way. But yeah, that was just a clue as to what it was.
All right, I'm in. No, thanks. 1 second.
What game are you playing, Selena? Anything interesting? I haven't played a video game in like forever. I think the last one I played was the Mario Brothers that I just got. It turns out I'm really not good at losing. Really like the bird. My brooch. My dream brooch. Zombies. Aren't you people zombied out? I got Photoshop opening.
Sorry.
It wouldn't be a basement surge production without.
Hey, listen,
tech
I had a
problems.
million things to figure out to
He
get
had-
this to work.
He
So
did not. I told him all day.
I had a whole
day.
checklist. Forgive me, I forget
day.
one thing. Jesus.
The most
Christ.
important thing.
Yeah, the most important thing.
I tell you. All right. So we're going to share the screen. Those of you on Instagram, I'm really sorry you can't see. I will be putting it on my Facebook group, which everyone should join because that's where you're going to see a lot of the behind the scenes and a lot of the little nooks and crannies like this. We can do this. I believe in us. Is that it? Thank you. Okay, so there it is. Now, my diamond was way better than this. I mean, it was smoother, more round. This is definitely like a fake like thing. But this is it. This right there, all I need is $105,000. Like, how many donations to buy me a coffee would I need? If they're like $5 for a cup of coffee, I would need, join my buy me a coffee account and help me buy my brooch. No. It was worth a try. But yeah. So that's my brooch. That's what I want for Christmas, in case anyone's wondering. But yeah, so then we went to Saks because I have always seen Saks. I see it every Christmas. It's got the sparkly lights. It's got they do this whole thing in the front of the store. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm like, I have to go there. I have to just see it. We walk in. The excavator that we went down sounded like it was going to break under our feet. Escalator. The stair thingy. As long as it's gonna break, number one. So we're already like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die in Saks. So I mean, there's worse places to die than Saks. We thought. we thought. You get down and you look under and you're like, what is this? Okay. Because you walk in and it is a high end Marshalls. This is not pretty. This is not luxury. This is not glamour. Okay. I saw the most. Look, it's awful. I saw a glass case, okay, full of Gucci bags, just thrown in there, not neatly. I mean, just thrown in there with a huge clearance sign on them. Huge clearance. Like a part of me broke that day. It was awful. These bags, it says 50% off, it says 70% off, but all these bags are like $300-$400. I was like, really? And I didn't love any of them. So I'm walking around and I'm just like, no, no. Like, look, this is not Saks. This is not what they advertise. This is Walmart. This is awfulness. Like, for those of you on Instagram who can't see this, I'm telling you, it was awful. It looked like a Walmart, looked like a Marshalls, not luxury. And this was on 3rd Avenue, Saks on 3rd Avenue. So we go home and I'm like trying to find information for this live show. And I wanted pictures to show you what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, there are 2 Saks. So then I look at 5th Avenue. Let me show you 2 blocks up 5th Avenue. Okay. This is Saks. This is luxury. This is beautiful. It is so pretty. Okay. Couches, glitter, glam, sparkles. I could have been so happy going here. Let's see. What else we got? Yeah, the jewelry. The jewelry we went to did not look like this at all. No. I went from like glorious Tiffany's to that. And I was just like, what is this? Yes, so Saks on 5th Avenue. That is the one you want to go to, not the one on 3rd Avenue. 3rd Avenue is the high-end Marshalls. Okay, I don't even know why there's a difference. They both say Saks. Only one says 3rd Avenue, one says 5th Avenue. Why would you have 2 separate things that, like, it's just, oh, it is sad. The difference. And I literally left Saks, like, never wanted to walk in there again. Like, this was a disappointment. You've been to the one on 5th Avenue, Brian? It's real. Oh, it's so, is it pretty? See, now I have to go to the one on 5th Avenue because I feel like I have to go now because I have to experience it. I feel gypped. And I have to know, why do they have 2 separate ones that are so different? It breaks my heart. It's like having a fake Tiffany's. It's like Tiffany's and Claire's. What is pretty is the mouse that is pink and the keyboard that is also pink. Aren't these adorable? John got them for me in honor of my little podcast. They are adorable. They're so me. Barbie pink. And it's not even like I've gone pink because of Barbie. Let me tell you, I have been pink obsessed since the womb. I've always loved pink. Pink is just so girly and cute, and I love it. So, yes. Oh, see, Brian's been there. I have to go with Saks. We have to go back now. Now I have to go do that. We still have to go to all the other luxury stores I didn't go to. I couldn't go to any more. I couldn't fall in love. We were supposed to go to Louis Vuitton, and I'm like, I don't have the strength for it at all. See, Mark says, one of the millionaires, the other store is for the billionaires. Pretty much. Yeah, because it was still expensive. It was still really expensive, which blew my mind. And I just like even the Gucci bags that were on clearance were still like $200 some. And I didn't like anything. I was so surprised because I'm like, I should have been like, oh my gosh, I love this. But yeah, I'm a pretty basic person, I think, when it comes to that kind of stuff. So what else did we do? Oh, we are in the great New York City full. We actually lucked out because there was a street fair going on. That was fun. That was so like we didn't even know it was gonna happen. We just walked through, and it was kind of cool because everybody had their own little like thing, but they were making homemade stuff. So it was homemade jewelry, homemade clothes, and I'm like, I have got to get my own table. I got to start making prints of my artwork. I have to start going to places because I was looking at some of the stuff they have, and I'm like, mine is better. Can't say that out loud though, but it was like, yeah, yeah. So I gotta really get on that because I'm not famous for no reason. Like I'm just lazy. Wait, did I say that right? Yeah, I'm not famous for no reason. Am I saying that right? I think so. Anyway. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so there was so much great food. There was food, like any food you could think of. There was nice restaurants all over, nice cafes all over. Guess what we got for lunch? Chipotle. Because we fancy it like that. Oh yeah, Chipotle. That's where we sat and ate. We actually went over to Central Park and ate it there. And at 6 years living in New York, that was my first time stepping foot in Central Park. I couldn't believe how huge it was. I thought it was going to be like something small. This thing went on for miles. We were walking for like what felt like 25, 30 minutes, and we weren't even like anywhere near the halfway mark. It was huge. It was so beautiful. The only part that really sucked was there was these giant rocks, and I so regretted wearing a skirt because all I wanted to do was climb on top of the rocks. I kept trying to mentally figure out how I could do it with the skirt on. It just wasn't gonna work. But I was like, oh man, challenge. Like you see the giant rock and you just want to like climb it. You have to. But so we went up and found a nice spot to have lunch, and we got so many great like things that happened. There was a chess tournament going on. And at first I didn't know what was going on. I just saw a bunch of people with chess sets in front of them, and the pieces were moved, but they were just sitting there staring. And I'm like, are they waiting? Like, is this something they started 2 days ago? And there's like, how do they like? I don't know. My brain could not compute what they were doing. And then all of a sudden, I see this oh, guy. I don't know how you describe him. The chess guy. Anyway, he was going to everyone's table and he was playing like 10 different people. And he's going around, you go one table, do 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 do, go to the next table, do 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 do, and then they would go around. And I was like, wow, like he's sitting there with like 10 people. And it looked like it was being like an actual tournament because there were people with badges and like little things. And I couldn't help but think like I could totally beat most of them. I could do that. I mean, I might not be able to beat all of them, but I'm pretty good at chess. And I kind of was like, I want to play. I want to try to beat him. I want a competition like that. Like, wouldn't that be so funny if like I walked over and was like, all right, let's go, and I beat him? That would probably end his entire career. That'd be really bad. But how cool would that be? I think that'd be so, so cool. So yeah, we did that. What else did we do? Oh, and I totally forgot the books upstairs. Hang on, my producer hubby will go get them for me. We're totally prepared for this. We really are. Luckily, it's like right upstairs. So again, how are you guys doing? I'm so happy with this turnout. You guys have no idea how much this means to me. Like, I'm just so, so happy. I really hope, like, I really like, you see, all you guys who are worried, this is not that girly. Like, you can easily talk about anything. I don't want you guys to be all worried about being like, because I know Brian was all like, it's a girl thing. It's not that girly. Right? I don't know. If any of you guys want to come on, you can definitely come on and you can chat. I'm just talking to my dad because otherwise I'll be sitting here just like having nothing to say. But yes, we are definitely open to anyone coming on and just chatting for a while. All right. We got the books. So, of course, we could not go to the city without going to a bookstore because duh. And we went to a bookstore called McNally Jackson. Never heard of it. It's really cute. It's like a small little bookstore, but like then you go on the inside and it's like really, really big. So it was really cool. The only part that really sucked was I had gone there knowing we were going to do it. And I had a whole list of books that I wanted to get, and they had none. I was really like, man. And then I was stuck because have you guys ever gone into a bookstore and you get instantly overwhelmed? Like, if you don't know what you're going in there for, you're like, what am I supposed to do? Like, read the back of every book? Because you got to find another book. And it's like, honestly, and I feel bad because as an author, I feel like I should have a little more. I don't know. I feel like I should do more. But I am totally sold by this right here. Because I have to like this part in order to even pull it out of the shelf to read the back. And if this doesn't get me, I'm not pulling it out. And it could be the best book in the world, but I'm just not. So it was a little tricky, and I was like, oh no, what do I do? But of course, I just went to the romance section because that's just what I read. And actually, John went to the horror section, and they had a crappy horror section. It was literally just like one small thing. And meanwhile, like every other category had like an entire room and wall, and then there was horror. Bump. It's really disappointing. But I was able to find 2 books, and these are the books that I got. I cannot wait to read them. I'm not even sure which one I'm going to read. Maybe y'all can help me figure that out because I just like them way too much. Like, that's the problem. Like, they're really good books, and I'm not sure which one to go for. So, the first one, 7 Rules for Breaking Hearts. This one is about a girl who runs a podcast with her friend. Thought I'd like this one. And the whole podcast is centered around the idea of hooking up without catching feelings. But what happens is one of the friends ends up falling in love, getting married, the whole 9 yards, and the entire podcast is like, what do we do with that now? Because you just broke all the rules and ruined the podcast. So the fans weren't happy. She wasn't happy. So she decided she was going to save the podcast. Basically, the book is kind of like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So she goes ahead, she breaks her own rules, she starts dating this guy, doing all the things that she's not supposed to, and you'll never guess what happens. I mean, you'll never guess in a million years. She falls in love with him. And I know it's so cliche, and I know how the book's going to end, and yet I love it every time. It's so crazy. It's just, I love it. So there's that one. And then I got I Heart New York by Lindsay Kelk. So this one is about a girl who catches her boyfriend cheating. Her life crumbles all around her, so she jumps on a plane and moves to New York, where she meets not one guy, but 2 guys. And she just happens to be a blogger for a fashion magazine, and she tells the world her story, talks about her love life, and they're loving it. But of course, in the end, she has to choose one guy. So the book basically is, which guy does she choose? And just for once, I think I have to write a book. I think I have to every time I read a book like this, I kind of have the urge to write a book where they choose the other guy. Because it's always a good guy. But it's like, you know what? Maybe she doesn't want to be, because it's always that guy doesn't have as much versus the guy that does have a lot. And it's like, maybe she doesn't want to go for love. Maybe she wants things. Change it up. Totally throw the reader off. They're going to be like, what? I'll have to do that. I really, really will. And then John got Empire of the Summer Moon, which is, how would you describe this?
It's about the beginning of the what's it called? Not the Cherokee and Navajo Indians in the West.
It's about
It's a historical
It's
piece.
a historical piece
Yeah.
about
I like American history.
American history. Yeah. I didn't read the back of it, so I'm like trying to. I don't have my glasses either, so I'm like, it says something. There's words in there somewhere. But yes, so very excited to read it. I'm going to put the actual description of these two books on my Facebook group, along with the link to buy them. And, because you want to get them, and help me pick which one I should read first, the podcaster or the blogger. I think they're both going to be so, so good.
I say the podcaster.
John says the podcaster. What do you guys say? Should I read the podcaster or should I read the blogger who ends up dating two guys? What should it be? Let's see who's still listening. We only have one person watching now. I bored them all. Wow. We got 3 people total between Instagram and YouTube. Out. I'm getting there. I'm counting. I'm looking. I'm acknowledging. I'm crying a little bit inside. Wow, even my sister's not even rude. You wait. You wait. You wait. I'm telling mom. All right. Let's see. Only been 37 minutes. Okay, so the first one. The podcasting one. Thank you. All right, we'll see. That one sounded really good. I loved How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, so this one shouldn't be too far off. My mom says the podcasting one too. See? What is that? 3? 2 podcast, 1 blog. This has been fun so far. I just don't know what to talk about now. What do we do now? Keep talking about New York. Both. I can't read both. Well, I'm going to eventually read both, but I got to pick one. Brendan says to read both. I mean, it's not totally a question, but I can read one audiobook and one actual book. Because the audiobook I'll listen to when I'm cleaning, walking, driving, shopping. But oh, Brendan, John said that he sent you an invite to the show. No dress required. What? Oh my god, I'm so excited! Oh my god! Look at my headphones on. Oh my gosh. Hello.
Well, hello, Heather. How are you?
I could hug you right now.
I wish you could. I wish you could. I love your Barbie shirt.
Thank you. I figured,
I was doing a show and your producer was kind enough to invite me on. Is this so do I understand? Is this your initial show?
Yes. So this is the first episode. It's going to be a live show instead of an episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So for those of you on Instagram who can't see Oh my gosh, Jeff from Jeff needs help. Jeff, like
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I don't even know because he's retired.
Just Jeff. Just
He's
Jeff.
trying to retire. He's trying, but everyone keeps
I'm
trying.
not succeeding. I've done like 3 podcasts a week for like so I always said I'm semi-retired. I'm
Right.
semi-retired. I'm still always, first of all, we've decided I'm still the third member of the Surge because we moved Frank to
Mhm.
fourth. So I'm still the third member of the Basement Surge. I still work with the Off the Ball Network. I work with anybody who is nice enough to ask me to come on their show. Heather, if anybody doesn't know, was one of my original guests when I did Jeff Needs Help back in the day, where I interviewed basically anybody, but I interviewed a lot of other podcasters and stuff. And so she was nice enough to come on my show a couple years ago. It's been
Mhm.
already on Jeff Needs Help. And that was a lot of fun. And of course, we've worked together, off and on, and you know,
Oh yeah.
it feels like we're almost like family members at this point, honestly.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
really like the show now that you got rid of that other guy. I think his name was John.
I know. Like I feel like this
That's
is
not nice,
just
man. That's not cool.
I never wanted to say it, but it really felt like he was dragging you down.
he really did. I really felt like that.
But
I think it's gonna be interesting to see how I grow when I gotta see how this.
so what are your topics for the night? What's your thoughts of the week? What's going on?
Oh my gosh. So you didn't see the first half of this because you were
I
doing
did
something?
not. I was working. Yeah.
All right, well, you have to rewatch it because it's too much for me to go over again. But basically, I went. I was talking about our weekend. We went to New York City. I
Okay.
fell in love with a Tiffany brooch that was only $100,000. Yeah,
Okay.
nothing too
What if this
crazy.
podcast thing takes off?
That's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
And like I did tell the audience, I'm like, that buy me a coffee thing, one coffee at a time, and I will get my brooch one day.
There you go. There you go.
And yeah, so I've been just kind of
You
talking.
That's awesome. So you guys have been doing a lot. I've been going to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody doesn't know, I'm not a stalker. I just me
That's
and
what family does. Don't worry
right,
about
me
it.
and Heather. I don't want to people that like a creep dropped in out of
Listen,
nowhere.
we
Like,
post those pictures for a reason because we need the world to see them. Because if the world doesn't see it, did it really happen?
yeah,
Like,
that's a good
yeah,
point. That's a good point. So
yeah.
yeah, look like having a lot of fun over there on the East
Hmm.
Coast. Is it hot over there like it is here? Is it just hot
Yeah.
everywhere?
Yeah, it's just mud. It's just there. Today it
Yeah.
finally rained. Like it was, I couldn't believe we were at the beach and the waves were so cool. They were huge. We weren't supposed to go swimming. We didn't go far, but the waves were like huge. And we got home just before this huge storm just came in. We even had a small tornado like right up the block from us.
What?
Yeah.
Was it a Sharknado by any chance?
It was not,
Oh, okay.
sadly.
Those can be dangerous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it was so funny 'cause we came home, we were watching Shark Week with dinner, and my daughter who's 4, I'm like, "We were just swimming with them." Huh? Like, she was so horrified.
But nothing to be worried about. They mind their own business. They get a little curious every now and then, but they're not out to get
They're
anybody.
not bad.
Yeah.
They
If you
nibble.
leave them alone, just ask Chief Brody's wife. Like, keep it in
Exactly.
Yeah,
yeah,
Jaws is just misunderstood, right, Jeff?
absolutely.
He really is.
Yeah. 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 They instigated him, into a reaction, and then they turned him into the villain. It's a whole thing. You guys can go back and check the Basement Surge episode. What was that? 2020? Probably 2020.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Go back.
Uh,
You find out. You'll learn everything you need to know about the Jaws family and
you know
how they were misrepresented in cinema.
absolutely.
It's really a terrible thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's awful. Actually, speaking of our old episodes, you are actually a part of the reason that I am here right now in this chair with my podcast because re-listening, that memory came up of me and you doing that one episode where you were interviewing me after doing my Duck Dynasty
That's right. Yeah,
live
that's right.
show.
You had just come off the Duck Dynasty show.
Right.
Correct. Correct.
And just hearing, how much encouragement you had for me and how much, you know, I, like how the courage I had and like that. And it's just like, you know what? I miss it. I love it. And I just gave me the push I needed to just do
You were
this.
great. Your solo show was amazing. Like it's and that's a really hard thing to do. Like you were so good at it. I was always impressed. We always knew that you were the best of us. Like
I try to be humble.
yeah. I don't. That's what I always tell everybody. I'm humble. Just ask me. That always cracks me up. A lot of athletes say that. They're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I'm humble." Like, well, if you say you're humble, you're actually not humble. Like,
Right.
it's because that's kind of the definition. It always cracks me up. So I always tell everybody I'm so humble, and then they
Yeah.
always laugh at me because they know me. So it's kind of one of my things.
It's kind of like calling John a nice guy. Like, oh, he's a nice guy. When you know him, you're like, no, he's not.
Yeah, I don't get called that either. If I do get called that, everybody's like, I think we're talking about a different guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
no.
a fun guy. I don't know if I'm a nice guy,
Right.
but I'm not a mean guy. I'm just kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So is this your this studio setup? Is this Brendan Roy says he can't hear Jeff on Insta. I would have no idea why that is. You would have to ask John about that.
Can they not hear him?
Well, if
Have I
you
been
can,
talking to myself the entire time?
I hope not.
If I am, why did no one on Insta let me know that I'm sitting here talking to myself?
Brendan just did. I don't know why I don't know why I wouldn't be on there. It wouldn't make any sense.
I know.
I don't know.
The basement surge is sabotaging because
Let me
he's like,
look.
wait a minute.
Let me look.
Yeah, Instagram can't
What'd he say?
Instagram can't hear you.
I don't know. It's not. I mean, if you can hear me,
I can hear you. We do this all the time.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing I can do to change it. I don't have anything muted.
That's so weird. Well, I'm very sorry, Instagram, but you can't hear Jeff.
Silly Instagram.
So half the stuff I say is going to make no sense.
No, you can just rebroadcast this episode of StreamYard, and everybody can
Yeah,
hear me.
well, we plan on this is gonna go. It's gonna go on YouTube. You guys can watch it afterwards. It will all be there, and it will all make sense.
Or they can watch right now over on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or go over to YouTube, get off Instagram, go to YouTube, and look up the Basement Surge, and then I'll be there under Basement.
Yeah, I would have. John, do you have any idea why it would do that?
No clue. No clue. It should be working. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, if she can hear me, then it has nothing to. Yeah, it's not on my end.
Yeah.
You know what? It's John. It's the freaking haunted internet that hates us. Like your internet.
It's the
That's
basement.
what
There's always
it
something wrong.
really
with
is. Like for people who don't know, the amount of shows that we've had to change, redo, restart our computers, update computers, reschedule shows. It's amazing.
My
But it's
favorites when you get halfway through the show and you're like, "Oh crap, I didn't hit record."
yeah, those were tough days. I've had some of those. Yeah. Or we recorded a whole Super Bowl episode one time and we were drinking the whole time. So we recorded for an hour and a half and my 3.5 millimeter plug wasn't quite plugged in. So it all recorded just through this silly laptop mic. And so it sounded terrible, but we had like worked our butts off for an hour and a half, but then we had to re-record because I couldn't do it. I had to put out a good product. So then though, we're a little tipsy. So then we had to re-record, but then you're saying like we had a script. So we're saying the exact same stuff on, well, not a script, you know what I'm saying? Guidelines.
Right.
Oh, it was a mess. I'll never forget. That was a tough one. So we were there for like 3 hours. So then by the time we're done with that, we're extra tipsy. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
And the first show was so good, but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It was like a practice run. All right, that was a good practice. Let's just try to do it again.
That was exactly they're like, I know you want to re-record. I was like, I got to. I can't put this out.
Oh yeah.
And we're talking the Super Bowl. Like I have to put one out. You know, it's kind of a big deal,
right? Because your whole podcast is based off sports. Like you can't
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look here at the Basement Surge and see what's up. This is weird.
This is unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
I told you he's sabotaging because he knows I'm doing better than him. He's like, look at all these guests. Look at all this interaction he's getting.
You're right. Oh yeah, what a coincidence.
Yes, how ironic.
That's a good point.
I knew it.
I'm so terrible at this. I don't even know where to watch.
Like I said, he's a tech guy. I'm the ideas person.
Yeah, because I go to Instagram. I don't see anything live. Yeah, I don't know.
I think, I think it's my bed.
Oh my god, he is sabotaging! I told you.
John.
I had the fader down on the Roadcaster for the TRRS cable.
Wow.
My bad.
Wow.
Petty,
Wow.
petty much, John?
Yeah.
Someone a little jealous?
Little
A
green
little jelly
monster.
belly? I don't know. How do you watch it on Instagram? I can't find it. I know it says you're
It should
on.
be like where my stories are, like where this, like the circles on top. It should say
Oh,
live.
it's under you.
It's under the basement ladies.
Oh, okay. Whoa, let me look here. This is
I did
live.
send you an invite.
Well, I've been busy.
Fine. I guess I'll let that one go to this time.
I gotta say, I gotta be careful typing in the basement ladies. I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Nothing
Okay.
bad is gonna
Okay.
happen.
Oh, there you are.
See?
Oh, well, you got a good camera there.
I do.
You look great.
It's awful. Oh my gosh. Like when I first turned the camera on, I was like, what is that? You can see every nook and cranny on your face. Like if you did not feel good about yourself, don't turn this camera on.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta make sure I follow you real quick.
Yeah. There we go. Don't bring the camera closer. I just talked about this.
No, I'm gonna.
Concealer only does so much. I hate you. Back it up. There we go.
Getting there. Nice.
But yeah, like I said in the beginning, like do not be fooled by the name basement ladies. It's literally just a female version of the basement surge.
I like it. No, I think it's a great name.
Yeah, we talk about the same exact topics. It's just that if I want to talk about, something that's not, I don't know, man, surge worthy. Please, we were fighting over what's allowed and what's not allowed. And we got into such a fight because I'm like, well, I want to talk about Mission Impossible. He goes, whoa, that's a guy thing. I was like,
whoa.
It was me? He's like, no, that's a surge thing.
Yeah, there's no rules.
I was like, I like Mission Impossible. I'm like, I bet you we like it for two different reasons. Okay, because you're not going to talk about Tom Cruise the same way I'm going to talk about Tom Cruise. I mean, you might.
No,
I mean,
definitely not.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I've seen the way he talks about Henry Cavill, so.
Well, that's different.
Do you hear you at all on it?
Well, I haven't talked a bunch, so it's kind of like a
Oh.
catch-22. So I'm sure it's all right. I think John figured it out.
I hope so. Dong.
I wish. Yeah, that was my thing. I still do that every now and then. I haven't invested in any different studio. Like I've had the same studio for 2 years. Everybody start podcasting, you order like the Amazon packages show up like every day for 2 months. Then I was like, okay, I got to stop. I got so much extras. Well, because I had my studio set up for a live show. So I had people like I had 4 mics and I had the mixer and all that. And then it's just really been just me in my basement, ironically enough, for the last little over 2 years now. I mean, I work with so many people, but it's all remote. I haven't had somebody live in studio since, a couple years.
Yeah. We are waiting for that. We just need someone to live close enough to us or visit us to have someone in life. Because everybody that we're friends with, all of you guys, you're all so far away. Gonna get that tour bus. We'll get that tour bus one day. It'll happen.
Yeah, I've only met like 2 people in person that I've worked with. And then I've had some of the guys from the network of met each other like on and done some shows. So that's been really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had the fortune to yet. We talk about maybe meeting up in Vegas sometime, but it's just a lot of moving parts.
I can't go to Vegas. I'm a sore loser.
That is tough. It is tough. I've done that. When I first started going there, I let it get to me and I'm like, I can't do this. I got into it like the first year I went like was crazy. I went all in. Like I stayed up the whole first night, lost more money than I should, won more money, lost money. Like I did the whole Vegas. I was like, whoa. I cannot do this. I can't do this for a week. So I've learned to throttle it now, not just do some sports betting. I don't really gamble that much anymore and just have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like I know how I react to a scratch off ticket.
Yeah.
So I know I can't handle the big time.
I'm like that with sports betting. Like I
Yeah.
get very emotional over it and like let it. So the key is with sports betting, I bet on stuff that I don't care about. Like I can't bet on the Buckeyes. I
Okay.
can't bet on because if I care, then it. But yeah, I do. I get very like I can't stay detached from it. It is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way.
And I'm sorry, Brendan, the tour bus will not have a stripper pole.
Hmm.
Very sorry.
It's always lap dances, Brendan.
From Jeff.
So I am. Well, I was actually not a 2-time winner.
Where are we going with this? Are we still talking about you giving lap dances or
Yes.
stripper pole? Like, ooh, I'm ready for this story.
Yes. So we every summer about this time of year, for several summers, friends of ours had what we called the wing party, and it was literally we just made a bunch of chicken wings, and everybody came over, played a lot of music. It was just a great party with a couple hundred people and all this. Well, so for like 3 years running, I initiated a lap dance competition because so what what happened the first year was a friend of mine. I couldn't even tell you why. The song was on, whatever. So I gave him a lap dance. Great lap dance.
Naturally.
Unfortunately, his wife went next. And though it's still disputed, I believe that my technique and my moves and everything was better. I couldn't overcome the fact that, well, I won't say what I said then, but she had working parts that I didn't, and I just couldn't like
Oh.
she won. So I still dispute that one. The next year we have in the garage, I believe my wife even gave it a run. I think I came in second, but again, it's really hard to compete with women
It is.
when males, but I was really good at it. So I did that for a few years. So then 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, my son's coming up on his second wedding anniversary
Oh, no.
at the end of this month. We're there, and my sister and her boyfriend are there. My sister's boyfriend's like kind of a reserved guy, laid back, doesn't just kind of chills out, whatever. Opposite of me. So this is my son's wedding night. We're having a great time. The juices are flowing, the liquor's, everything's going. So I think this is the perfect time to give him a lap dance. And let me tell you, this isn't the type of person that would ask for a lap dance from a grown man.
Okay.
So therefore it made it. Well, there you go, John.
You would,
Oh,
shush.
yeah, you haven't seen it yet, pal. Well, you're getting one now. So I give him one like during the wedding reception, like in front of everybody. And he didn't fight me or anything. He took it in stride. So that's it. And then it's just a running thing that if somebody like if somebody wins like Ohio State wins a championship, I would give them a lap dance. I don't believe there is video, Brendan. It's more of a myth, but anybody, well, you know what? There might be. It was the wedding. We had videographers, so I'll look into that. Now that I think about it, there might be a really awkward video. I'm better at it than you think. I mean,
That is awesome. The hidden skills.
I've seen a lot of them, and I've studied the genre. That's all I'll just leave it at that. I've studied the genre.
Oh my gosh. All right, Brian, I will see you. Brian is leaving. He's got a show to do. Awesome. Yeah, so you think you know a person, and then you just find out a little more.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I'm a controversial lap dance champion.
Well, I mean,
I still think that he wanted to. He wanted to declare me the winner, but I think for fear of insulting his wife,
oh,
he
please.
sided with Nookie that night.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't provide that.
Our live show ended. Why?
That's weird.
My Instagram live show ended.
Jeff, were you wearing a G-string?
No, I sure wasn't.
See, that's why you lost. You're gonna have to like get it,
You're right. I should have probably showed a little more skin. Maybe some glitter.
Yeah.
Maybe some glitter next time.
Glitter, some baby oil, maybe, shine it up.
But Brady, if you're out there, I'm coming back. I'm getting my title back. I'm just saying.
Dude, speaking of Brady, did you hear who Tom Brady is dating?
Oh my gosh. I don't even have a clue who that.
I couldn't believe it, Jeff. I really
The
couldn't believe
one
it.
and only Kim Kardashian.
What?
Yep. Like he wasn't low enough in the totem pole because of all the crap he's did. And like you went from your Victoria's Secret wife to Kim Kardashian.
I mean,
I
I
can
don't
see a
know.
one night stand, but I can't see actually in public dating. I mean, come
So
on.
have they been like out? Like they've been seen
Out.
out together, and there's like
Yeah.
pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
It's bad.
I don't know if it kind of makes me like him a little more. Keep in
Really?
mind, I don't like him very much at all.
Why
Yeah,
would that make you like him more?
And
I don't
and I
know.
lost a little respect for him. So
I guess it depends on how you feel about Kim. And it's not like a looks thing or anything, but I just,
No, it's a
I mean,
personality thing.
yeah, yeah.
She's not ugly. I mean, it's mostly fake, but she does. It's not awful. It's not like the worst. A lot of women are fake nowadays, but it's just that she's so fake, even personality wise. I mean, maybe he knows a part of her that we
But
don't know.
isn't he also
Yeah, if you
like?
think
Isn't
about
he like the super? Like nobody knows anything about him. The guy's. I mean, like yeah. Like if you ever, did you ever watch any of his commercials? Like I don't know if you have
oh my
Hulu.
gosh, that car commercial where he's like on that
It
talk
is
show thing.
awful.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I didn't
he's basically a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe Kim gives him a little pizzazz.
Like
I
I
hope she
said,
don't.
don't go public with it.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't know. Maybe he's just having fun with it.
I
Publicity.
don't know, but
These people make millions off this stuff.
they do. But it's just I can't imagine like his ex-wife must be like laughing her ass off. Like, really? That's who he got after me?
Yeah, it's very unique.
Yeah.
Mm,
It won't last, but
you never know, man. Here's what money likes money. So like when you like honestly, like when you're at that level of like billionairehood, like who do you date? You know what I mean?
I
Like
guess that's true.
you can't go to like BW3s and meet somebody like you're Kim Kardashian. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's like I think you're kind of in those circles and you're like, yeah, we're both billionaires and we'll figure it out. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Because no one else would understand their problems.
Yeah, that's what I
Like,
mean.
oh no, I have to buy another house for tax reasons.
Exactly.
Oh darn.
Exactly. But here's the thing though. I think we need to look at the upside of this as far as like just being casual observers of these
Okay.
people is that this sets up some sort of weird like outer space kind of Kanye versus Tom Brady situation that
That
could
was
be amazing.
that was one of the comments was how does Kanye insult the goat?
Right.
Like, what do you got? What do you
Yeah.
like? You
Right.
can't.
Right. But I mean, it goes both ways. It's not like Tom knows anything about making music.
No.
Let's face it. Tom and Kanye probably both vote the same way. They probably got more in common than we think,
That's very
if
true.
we're being honest.
I don't know because Kanye wanted to vote for himself. Remember, Kanye wanted to be president.
He did.
So
He
actually,
did.
they may have something more in common because I'm pretty sure Brady would be like, I want to be president.
I want to be president too.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Hmm.
my gosh. Could you
Yeah.
imagine?
So I want to look at that side. It could wind up being a wild adventure. Some things could happen. So that's news to me. I didn't know. So there you
Yes.
go.
That was my thank you. Yeah.
We appreciate it, Basement Surge.
I always have those fun facts in the morning because like I'll sit in bed and I'll like read my Google and I'll just find and we're eating breakfast and I'm just sitting here like spitting out facts and John's just like, oh.
Yeah, I kind of miss everything that happens. It's the weirdest thing. Like I'm not plugged into like the world at all. Like stuff happens all the time, and I'll get to work and they'll be talking about it, and I'm like, huh, I had no idea. Like it's so wild the way I can put
Hey, Mom.
the blinders on.
Yeah.
Oh man, your mom's watching. I am glad that I have kept it PG tonight.
Oh, it's okay. It's kind of like
Well,
your mom watching. You know,
well,
like
that's true. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
very much
My
like
my
your
mom has seen a lot. She's seen it all.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
please.
She gets mad now because I do all these shows, but like they don't show up on mine, so she doesn't know where they're at. So then
Right.
she gets mad. I should share them and stuff more.
You
I think
should.
I know you would think I would. I don't know. You know what? Honestly, though, as far as like doing the shows go, that's a lot of the I won't say problem with it, but that was a lot of the downside is the constant like sharing, liking, the promos. That's really what burnt me out on it in the first place. So, like, I
Mhm.
know that's what you have to do, like, for a
Right.
show, but that was what I struggled with the most. So, like, now I'm under the thing of like, I'm just hoping that somebody hears it and is like, "That's it. This is," you know what I mean?
And that I
I'm
think
on more of a hope.
right. And I think that's one thing that's going to hopefully I can keep a clear head and keep with what I want this show to be. I'm not looking to become an empire. I'm not looking to be, viral and famous. I just want to sit here. I love just sitting here talking with everybody. I
Yeah.
love just the interaction, the fun. I love making the fun reels. I love making the backgrounds, doing all this. And
Yeah,
but
see,
it's
that was all the stuff that I didn't. I like the content. I like the
Mhm.
from the camera on to the camera off. I really love that, but the other stuff just wore on me.
Yeah, like, I don't wanna have to stress about making a
Yeah.
reel every single day. I don't wanna have to stress about posting every single day to grab the algorithm to make sure the keywords are
Right.
there, and it's just like, listen, it takes the joy out of it, it really
Well,
does.
especially when you'll see these other people that do it and they're
That's why you have me.
yep, and they're not good at it, and you're like, "Wait a minute, all they did was, like, show up and say something inflammatory, and now they
Right.
got a billion views," and you're like, "Man," after you do all the work. So, this trip around, I'm just letting it happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
That's basically all I'm doing. I'm kinda riding on Basement Surge's,
Oh, yeah, of course.
on their wave, and I'm just gonna
Well, me
keep
too.
going.
I've done more shows with the Basement Surge this year than I haven't made one since last November.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta just squeeze their name in his name in there once in a while, and all of a sudden you're famous.
But the new project I got may work out. We got a good thing. The Coach Foz got me. He brought me out and he said, just trust me. We'll do something good." So he's got me on his show, and it's going really well so far. We're starting to click, starting to figure each other out, starting to get the timing down, things like that. So this show
That's
it may work. This may be the one.
Mhm. I hope
Well,
so, it's really good because it's just especially once you've done this, you can't just stop.
oh yeah, yeah. I don't even yeah, I don't go very long without doing a show. It's definitely addictive. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
and, like, I'll watch something or hear something, and I'm like, "Oh, I would have so loved to do that subject."
Oh, I'm the
Or
worst
a
about
movie
that.
will come out, and I'm like, "Oh, I wanna do something on this movie," or it's just
Yep.
like, I just am constantly thinking of content with it.
Well, the worst that would get me is like I would do a show, right? And
Mhm.
then I don't know, 2 days later I'd be listening to like, a bigger national show, and I swear that they would say the same stuff that we just said. And I'm like,
Right,
there was no difference except for the number of people listening. And that's when you're like, it's a compliment because you're like, that's what we said, that's what we said. But then you're like, there's no difference.
right.
You know what I mean? Like me and John have said it a million times. You get on these shows that have, millions of followers, and somebody's on there like, their audio's terrible or the video's terrible or whatever, and you're just like, "Really?"
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
yeah.
But it's fun. It's still fun. I mean, I still meet a bunch of awesome people, and I wouldn't know if I didn't have my podcast family, I don't like that would really cut out like a huge portion. And
It
credit to them for sticking with me. All these John, everybody, you, like all my off the ball network guy, like, cause I was going to leave the network cause I didn't want to drag them down. I was like, I'm not working. And they're like, no, so credit to everybody who, you know, stuck with me and kept asking me on their shows. And, that's probably been like, if I look, that's the legacy that I've had is that like people actually like once I quit, quote unquote quit, people didn't they still asked me back on, which means they genuinely wanted me
right.
on their show. So
Right, you
maybe that
didn't disappear off everything.
no, not at all. And I didn't do anything. People just asked me to be on the show. So it's a huge compliment. So maybe that's what'll turn it around.
Yeah.
Possibly.
No, I absolutely love it. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to, like, have this again, and I'm
Yeah, it's
having fun.
great.
I'm having a lot of
And
fun.
then you'll start meeting people and you'll start building that just like we all did. We start building that web of people that and then somebody knows this person and somebody knows that person, and
Mm-hmm.
like the guys that we had on your show there a couple of weeks ago. I apologize, can't quite remember their name right
The
now, but
talking shit guys, Mark
yes,
and
yes,
Brian.
like they let people on their show and then just have conversations with them. I mean, it's out there.
Yeah. It's
Sometimes
pretty fun.
good,
They're doing
sometimes
like
bad.
an open mic on the 27th, and
Nice.
it's going to be like a talent show. And I
Jeez.
so wish I had a talent. I don't got a talent.
What?
I'm like I got nothing, but it's going to be so cool. I have to watch it 'cause I got to see who comes on there and like does
It
like
feels like you would like write a poem or something. You feel like you would write poetry or something. Like,
roses are red, violets are blue.
yeah, you wrote some really good stuff when you did the oh shoot, um, your podcast there. I can't quite remember the name of it
Yeah.
right now. It's escaping me. But you did some really good stuff that you obviously wrote down. I mean, you're
Mhm.
obviously a good writer. You wrote a book. You wrote a couple
Yeah.
books, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a talent.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll think of something in the next 2
Read
days.
a paragraph from one of your books
Yeah,
that you've already wrote. That would be cool.
it would be something cool.
Yeah. I mean that's a talent, just like singing or anything else. I mean, and it's
Yeah.
yours. You own it. You know what I mean? It's your and a property.
Right.
That's what I would do.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Because people like
Mine, like,
that.
I'll go next to, like, some guy that, like, swallows a sword, and I'll be up there, like, reading my little paragraph.
Even better. Even better. That's what I would recommend. Find a page or a couple pages from one of your books that you really feel like captures you and read it.
Hmm. Maybe I should. Hey, if
Yep.
I didn't get good publicity.
Yeah,
Worst case
absolutely.
scenario.
You never know. Somebody might hear it and be like, wow.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a pretty good idea.
Worth a shot. And you're not putting a ton of extra work in it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So I
But
have nothing.
you've already done the work, you know?
Right. I can't
So
sing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I sing nonstop. I belt it. I know every word. Well, some words doesn't mean it sounds very good.
I
that's
love you.
all of us.
I love your singing.
Oh,
You sang, what was it, yesterday, today?
Yeah, I kind of forgot that he can hear me, and I just started like singing I Believe I Can Fly.
oh, that's a great one. I mean,
I mean, I would if you ignore who made it, it's just a good
that's going to
song.
say
Just
that's a
just
tough one.
ignore
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
ignore it.
One of my favorite songs of all time.
And I'm
And
just sitting
yeah,
there belting it out, like going around. He's like, "I love when you sing," and I'm like, "Oh crap!" Like, that's right, you can hear me.
well, that was nice of him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite movies too, from Space Jam.
yeah.
Hmm. Yep.
Oh my gosh, dude. Speaking of songs get such a bad rap, and it's kind of like some songs, and I'm like, just enjoy the lyrics, just shush.
Yeah.
We got that new Jason Aldean thing, and I'm like, I heard the song finally today, and I was like, oh, that's not so bad.
Well, it's one of those things. It's just, I mean,
If
like
you
it's songs are songs. Like we can't start nitpicking lyrics.
right,
Like, and it's hard to say. Like, do I hear the dog whistles that he's singing? Yes, but it's
right.
still his. It's a song. You can't stop people from. I wouldn't want I wouldn't want people to stop, hip hop from doing the stuff they do, and some of that is terribly problematic.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh,
so I can't ask them to tell country or rock or whoever. Like if you go back to like it's some I think it sort of falls under the category of just like I don't know, don't listen. I don't know what to tell you.
right? Then don't
In
listen to
either
it.
direction, in either direction,
Like
like you
I
don't
don't like rap music that talks about every body part and what they're going to do with those body parts. So
right.
guess what? I don't
You
listen to them.
just don't. Yeah, but it still exists, right?
It exists, but you know
Yeah.
what? You're not seeing people protesting about that when it's
Yeah.
kind of like, I'd
Well,
rather
the
my
thing is, though, you did in the '80s when they literally tried to
right.
destroy hip hop. Like that's the thing that people do forget that, like, yes, last year it didn't happen, but I remember the '90s when or the '80s and '90s, like we had to like get like bootleg copies of like NWA albums and stuff just to hear them. So
Right.
it's like it had like I know it's not recent history, but like there is a history of trying to. So here's the thing about the Jason Aldean thing, and this is the catch to it. I don't I think they're kind of arguing with themselves because they say that people are against it or whatever. And I'm not saying that certain people aren't, but just in general, I'm like nobody like the people that like would be against it aren't like listening to it.
Right.
Like CMT took it off. The people that listen to CMT aren't the people that you're talking about or protest. I think it's a lot of it's kind of contrived. Because like I live in a world that like it is, I won't say against, but like I hear and I don't like love the lyrics of the song, right? But
Right.
guess what? I don't we don't care. Like we really don't care as much as people think we care about the song. I don't know who they think cares about the song.
Right.
Like I'd never heard the song. I listened, I just like everybody else, I listened to it and I'm like, yeah, I know what he's getting at there, but whatever. It's a country boy. Like
Mhm.
I live in the area that he's talking about.
That's the
And I know
difference.
who he's talking to.
That's exactly the difference that people are not listening to. Because if you are from a small town and someone comes into your small town, it becomes a problem because everybody comes out of their house
Yeah.
and everybody defends everybody.
But so the issue with it is, and this is what I try to explain to people. Like, I know what he's saying as far as like your small town, you stick together and all that. The general message is actually kind of fine. Like, I
Mhm.
don't hate everything about growing up in a small town, but the problem is people go too far. Is like, well, there's a lot of people that grow up in small towns though, but if you don't think, act, look, if you don't fit the mold of what that small town wants you to be, you kind of live in like a personal like prison until you get old enough and can escape that. So I got a lot of friends who like they grew up in these towns to where like they couldn't tell anybody they was gay or it was
Right,
tough to be.
absolutely.
So that's the other side of like we're not sitting there saying that like every small town's this horrible place or whatever, but I'm like not everybody that lives in a small town is comfortable there. You know,
Right.
so like I think there's a message that can be about small towns as far as having each other's back, but like include everybody. And I think where the problem comes is obviously the undertones of what Aldean is saying, and
Mhm.
with the video of showing protesters and stuff, we get what who he's talking about.
Right.
It seemed more specific, and again, I'm not even against his right to do it. I really don't care at all. I'm like, guess what? I just cannot watch it or not listen to it. But then I'm like, all the people I know, like all it's like say all my hip hop fans, they don't care about Jason Aldean songs. They're not protesting it. They just really don't care. So I
Right.
don't really know who I think they're kind of arguing with themselves. I think a lot of it is contrived publicity.
Mhm.
I don't think that
As
I
many
don't
people as they're saying care
yeah,
as, like, they're making it out to be.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I really don't think there is.
Right.
And again, that's it's whatever. Like I'm never here for censorship. I think, you know, I think you ought to be able to, you know, good, bad, or ugly, like you still ought to be able to
Right.
say and do what you want. Repercussions, they are what they are. But it has been a fascinating thing to watch and being from the town that he's talking. Like I literally lived in these towns that he's talking about. And but it's just what you take away from it. Certain people take away certain things from it, and I'm like, I don't know. It goes pretty deep. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's
Yeah.
been I've had a lot of discussions about it this week.
Oh my gosh, I bet. Like, and it was funny because everyone's been talking about. I'm like, all right, in order to be really objective, I have to hear the whole song. I can't just
Right.
hear the parts that they're trying to show me. I had to sit there and listen to the whole song.
I did the same thing.
And I was like, you know what? If you ignore all that and if you don't see the videos attached to it, I'm
Yeah.
like, it's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
It's got a good beat. It's got a good lyrics. It's got a good, like,
That's
it's
what he
a
does for a
really
living. He makes
right,
songs. That's the songs that he makes for a living. And
right,
again, I did the thing about it is CMT took it off. Like I don't know who he thinks took it off the air. Like they're making it look like I don't know who I know who they're acting like took it off, but
right,
like CMT took it off. Like if you think that their viewers are like they're the same people that like you.
right.
So it's like you need to talk to CMT about this. This isn't this but see, there's where you do the political thing to where Jason Aldean's camp went, oh, we're gonna get rich
Oh yeah.
because they're acting like, you know, what they want to call them liberals or whatever. I promise you, they do not care. I have not
Mhm.
talked to one person that is like, "Oh, I hate that." Nobody cares about that song.
No,
It's just
a
all
lot of
made
people
up.
haven't even heard
They're
about it.
arguing with themselves. They really
Yeah,
are.
and that's the hard part. Like I really always stress watching the news, watching TikTok, especially because TikTok and the
Oh my
YouTube
God.
reels, they can kind of get in your head where you think,
Mhm.
oh, everybody's thinking this, but really
That's
it's
that's
not.
the problem. It's really not like that. The
And
majority of people don't even know like what's going on.
no.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like you have to learn to do your own research.
Yes.
100%. Because you can't give an opinion if you don't know the facts.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I agree with that in every way, shape, or form. The first thing I do is read a couple stories about something. I'll read like if there's a big news story, I'll try to watch 4 or
Mhm.
5 news channels just to get because I don't want to just spout something off and then they're like, no,
Right.
that's actually just what's happening with this. This is all one-sided. Like
Exactly.
this fake, it's just fake summertime controversy. There's nothing to talk about. And it's just got way blown out of proportion.
Right.
It's here's the thing, like really, the breaking news. There's a country singer that kind of leans towards like white boys in the country. Oh, really? That's
That's
new.
oh, that's new. That's new because that's how it's
Exactly.
been since day one. Country,
Right.
I think everything. Country had their time. Rock has definitely had their
Oh
time.
yeah.
Hip hop's had their time. I mean, like you talk any of this stuff, they're gonna piss off somebody.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, hip hop, as much as I love it, the side of it is it's terrible about the way it talks about women
Oh my gosh.
and to treat women and stuff like that. It's problematic, but also we're in the club, we're listening to it. You know what I mean?
It's got a good beat.
Yeah, you just talking about. I
It's
mean,
just
seriously, we just
one
talked about creepy R. Kelly making a song that we both like.
of those.
Like,
It's just
it's a
it's hard.
complicated world out there.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's what. Well, and another thing I said the other day about it, the last thing I'll say about the Aldean thing. What my thought on it was the biggest thing is like basically what we've boiled down to is like, yes, Americans are really like passionate and will stand up for anything as long as that means just sharing a meme on Facebook. They really
exactly.
don't do anything except just share memes on Facebook. They're not actually out in the streets protesting. They're not actually doing any of this. They're literally just waking up in the morning, taking a poop, sharing it on their phone, and they're like, yeah, I really like I stand with Jason Aldean. I'm like, you're not actually standing with him.
No.
You're actually just sharing a meme.
And
You
the
really
funny
did
thing is,
nothing.
like, if they were to go door to door, okay, you ready to go? Because we're going. And they'd be like, oh, crap. I didn't really mean it. Like, they would chicken out because, like,
Exactly.
everybody is strong behind their freaking phone.
Exactly.
Behind
Yeah.
that phone, you're the biggest
Oh,
badass.
yeah.
In real
Yeah.
life,
Get those
you
Twitter
got nothing.
muscles. Yeah.
Yep.
That's my point of it is I'm like, everybody talks about it. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, there's real problems out there to talk about and discuss and worry about. Like, this is not one of them.
No.
Like, no, this dude,
Just
like,
don't listen to it. Just turn it off.
yeah.
Turn the
And the
volume
thing is,
down.
I really think that most people did. I swear, like, that the people that they think it bothers, they really do not care.
I mean, if you look at it, if you really want to see how bothered the world is, see what number that song is on the list.
Oh yeah.
If people are really bothered, it's going to be on the lowest number on the list, not the top of the list. And
Right.
it's still on the top. It's still like
Oh yeah.
a song that's listened to a lot. So, I mean,
It's so insane. I mean, I'm not saying don't stand up for what you believe in.
no,
That's
absolutely.
exactly, but I'm also like this one is just not real. This
Yeah,
is not a two-sided argument.
right.
Take it from somebody. I do not care. Like if Jason Aldean makes a song, not makes a song, what's on CMT. I do not care. I do
No,
not care.
no.
So,
But Jason Aldean, keep doing what you're doing because I like your music.
I
So,
actually do like some of his music.
I really
And
do.
do I make fun of him sometimes for being a honky? I absolutely do. I do both.
Right.
I mean, it's no big deal. It's just music. I really
It's
like,
music.
yeah. No, I don't know.
John's like, he said honky.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is late. I have to get
Yes,
up
it is.
early and go to work in the morning.
That's me
My
too.
vacation. I was on vacation for like 5 days, and now I have to go back.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, back to waking up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah. Then Jeff shows up. You're like, I just lost a half hour sleep. Ask
Yeah,
John. John
but
is
that's
usually
fine.
3 hours of sleep. You did.
Yeah,
You haven't learned the famous John trick though. He always gives me the, ooh, I gotta go pee.
yeah.
Yeah, or I start hitting the music, you know?
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah,
hate
he'll
when he
play you
does
out
that.
like the Oscars.
Yeah.
I
You ready?
hate
Let's
when he
go.
does
Let's
that
do it.
so much.
Well,
I
Jeff,
like
it's
it.
been fun.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me on. That was actually a pretty good exit. I liked it.
That really was. If only it was his show and not mine.
Ooh, take that.
Yeah.
I got my Jimmy Kimmel cue cards. Feel very official.
Nice.
It's how I remember stuff, because otherwise I forget.
That's a good idea. A lot of times I'll put notes on the second laptop, but I think cards are more effective. I'll kind of sit them in front of me.
Yeah, and they're kind of fun. You feel all like,
No, I like that. That's a good
breaking news.
yeah. No, your setup looks pretty good. You got stuff to do, everything. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like it.
not my first rodeo.
Yep. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
You should have seen though, the first time when we decided to really do this, he came and surprised me with the desk and then the keyboard and the mouse because he went and got it for me. And I'm like, oh, game on. It was like 8:00 at night and we ran to the store because I'm like, I have to decorate.
Nice. That's awesome though.
They're trying to close, like go home. And I'm just like, hang on. I'm just grabbing more stuff.
That's fantastic. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I hope it goes great.
I hope it does too. Like I said, tonight was, and I was so blown away by how many people showed up, how many people commented, you coming on, like everything. It's just, this night has been so much more than I thought it would be.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. And like I said, it's gonna be every Tuesday I'm going to go live. It's going to be between 9 and 10. Sometimes I get out, I have to work till 9. So it's going to be 10 o'clock. So it's kind of like, you'll know ahead of time.
Life gets in the way.
Yeah, stupid job. There's no consideration for my podcast.
Yep, there you go.
Rude. But yes, so on that note, I thank everybody who came on today, everybody who commented on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. You guys mean the world to me. And I hope that you guys continue to watch the live show. Join our Facebook group. You will see all of the behind the scenes. You'll get some one-on-one. You can ask questions. You're going to see all the little tidbits like the backs of the books I read. Just so much more. You guys are going to get the special VIP section of the Basement Ladies. Head on over to Instagram if you're not already. Follow, like, do what you got to do there. On YouTube, the same. Follow, like I said, every Tuesday between 9 and 10, we're going to be going live. So ring that bell so you always know and get notified. And subscribe. It was there. I just didn't read it. Subscribe.
Great job.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
It's my pleasure, as always.
And I will see all of you again next time.
Bye, John.